Hey, just wanted to do a quick update on the Woodlawn Beach boat ramp dock over here. We've got the dock tore out, got the new pilings installed. We're installing piling wrap on the poles right now. This will give the poles a lot longer life expectancy or prevent the treated boreworms from getting in there and eating it out. We've got the concrete pad poured for the handicap ramp. We got some of the framing started, and we actually started. A lot of people saw and thought it was too high, which I did too, but we had two different elevations set on our plan. So we kind of slowed things down, got back with the engineer, and decided to go ahead and lower it back down to where it was. And I definitely think it's going to be a lot more beneficial for the size of boats that are going to be coming in this area right here. But we're waiting on some timbers to come in. It's a specialty lumber that we're ordering for this, 20-foot rough cut timbers. So it's not something that they have on hand, but we should be getting them today. We'll go ahead and start getting this frame back up. So hopefully by the end of next week, we should have it framed up, decked out, and getting real close. No promises, but we're going to try to get it back in working order real quick for you guys. A lot of people ask how we keep our barge in place while we're working. This is a 10-inch by 20-foot, 1,100-pound spud pipe is what we call it. Actually sits on the sea floor, holds the barge right in place. We got two of those on the barge to keep us stationary. We are out here squaring up the platform. It's going to be an 8 by 27-foot long platform. Put some temporary poles in, run some strings, make sure everything's square and in line. Then we set our pilings on the strings with little magic marker marks on it depicting exactly where the poles go. This is an 8-inch tip, 20-foot long marine treated piling. 8-inch tip, a lot of people get that confused. That is the smallest diameter of the piling measured across the top. Now the bottom part's probably going to be about 10 to 12 inches sometimes. We like to put the bigger parts in the ground. That makes it harder for the storm surge to pull the pilings out of the ground. This pole will be put in place on the marker and jetted down just a little bit. Then we'll take a vibratory hammer and vibrate it to seat it in place. We typically use 8-inch tip pilings on commercial and some residential jobs. A lot of residential jobs are 6-inch tips. When hiring a contractor, be really careful because a lot of contractors will sell you a 6-inch tip piling or an 8-inch tip piling, but they'll flip it upside down, put the butt in the air. That's not good because then you have a tapered pole going down into the ground. Makes it a lot easier for that piling to be pulled out of the ground during the storm surge. So make sure they specify the smallest part of the pole being 6 inches or 8 inches. And always install biggest diameter of the pole in the ground. Poles in place and vibrated down, they're typically 10 to 12 foot of penetration into the soil. That'll make this dock very stable. A lot of people inquire as far as how this jet pipe works. It actually puts out a lot of pressure of water. You stick that jet wand down in the ground, it displaces the sand. It's pretty much the same if you take a garden hose and stick it down in the ground, you see it makes a little hole. Well, this makes a pretty decent sized hole, which allows us to be able to vibrate and drive this piling down into place. And this is one of my more enjoyable parts of the job right here, is loading and unloading the Thro-Flow off the barge. A lot of people's eyes just get really wide seeing this thing come off, but it's actually pretty easy once you know how to do it. Just got to be coordinated enough to be able to use your hands and your feet at the same time. See here that the barge tried to slide out from underneath me, so I had to react real quick to keep that barge underneath the tractor so I could get it unloaded. We're getting the dock disassembled from the pilings here so we can lower it back down to the correct elevation. After about 4 hours, we got the dock leveled out to the correct elevation. All we got to do now is wait on the lumber to show up today, and we'll start getting the rest of this dock framed up. We are installing two 5/8 Type 316 stainless steel bolts on the cross ties to support the dock framing. We're doing them at a little bit of a diagonal angle. This gives you more support from side to side on the pier. We are using Thro-Flow graded decking on this project. You can see the little tabs on the ends there which actually lock the panels together. They're all screwed down with Type 316 stainless steel screws. The Thro-Flow decking is very nice for the seagrass environment. It has a lot of areas for light penetration. Also very good for storm surge protection too. Allows the water to shoot up through it. You guys here are installing the piling wrap. This prevents the teredo boreworms from eating up the poles. The wrap goes about 1 foot to 1.5 feet down into the soil. There's yet a little hole around it to slide the piling wrap down, and then it overlaps on the inside, and we connect it together with Type 316 stainless steel nails. Make y'all YouTube famous.
Yeah. Everywhere won't pile on wrap.
That's right. Everybody knows what it does, and they'll definitely want it.
Oh yeah.
It only makes sense.
Yeah.
So what he's done, he's got probably about an 8-foot piece of piling wrap. He's jetted a little hole around the piling right here to soften up the sand. We're shoving that down probably about 1.5 feet to 2 foot down into the soil. We got a mark that's pre-marked on the piling here as far as the elevation of the piling wrap, which will be about 1 foot above the high tide line. Then they get it pulled together real tight, tack it together with some stainless steel Type 316 nails. Wrap a bungee cord around it to try to keep it in place as they're sliding it down. Started on the handicap concrete pad now here at the boat ramp. We're digging that thing down 16 inches. We're going to put 12 inches of compactable Bohemian limestone in there to a 98% compactability. Then we're going back with 4 inches of 3,500 PSI fiber reinforced concrete for the handicap parking area. You got the area dug out now, got a little bit of dirt put back in it. We're going to go ahead and get our forms installed for the concrete, get our elevation set. Then we'll come back and start compacting the rock in the bottom. Alright, got all the forms installed now, got the dirt leveled out, the rock compacted. Now we've got the concrete. Gonna go ahead and start getting that poured in place.
Get it. Get it.
Make it look easy, don't they? That's why I hired him. They take this long aluminum scrape board here, lay it across the form to the other side just to make sure we don't have any valleys or humps in the middle. They actually pulled it pretty good, so everything looks nice and level. As the guys are scraping or pulling the concrete, the guy in the middle there stand there with the rake or pull to kind of fill in any little valleys or humps that's in the way. Using this tool here to float it out gives it a nice smooth finish on top and gets all the concrete kind of laying flat. We got roughly 6 yards of concrete poured here. It's 4 inches thick. Got it finished off and put a broom finish on it. It turned out looking really good. If everything goes good, we should have the dock framed up and decked out by the end of next week. If y'all would, hit subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. You'll be able to be notified of the updates. If you click the bell up there, it'll tell you when my next video is posted, and I'll try to get them posted as we go along so y'all can see the progress, exactly how your dock is being put together. We're cutting some control expansion joints in the concrete here. It's about 1 inch thick. We describe it straight across the concrete. We're going to cut it in 2 places. This here allows the concrete to crack in these pre-designed areas opposed to just cracking all over and making it look bad. You really need one of these every 10 square foot on concrete to prevent cracking. We got all the form boards removed. Now we're filling back in around the edges with some compactable gravel. We'll get that compacted in place. Next week we got the guys coming to install all the handicap striping, bumpers and signage on this handicap parking area. If y'all got any questions at all, just leave them in the comment box. Make sure you share this and like it. Thanks.